Hi, welcome to Centerville Reports Today. I'm Maureen Russell Hodson. You probably have a list of projects on your slate this spring. Maybe you want to do something in your yard. Before you do that, we want to make sure that you're calling 811. You want to call before you dig. And here to tell us more is Kevin Campbell. He is an inspector with Montgomery County Environmental Services, and he is the chair of the Miami Valley Utility Safety Council. Thanks for being here, Kevin.
Thank you for having me.
So when we talk about, I think we all know what Montgomery County is, obviously, but the Miami Valley Utility Safety Council, what is that council?
It's a group of excavators and utilities and government agencies that meet once a month, and we get together, talk about projects that are upcoming, talk about different issues maybe people are having with getting line locations or different utilities. Just different it's an opportunity for everybody to get together and talk about what's going on, and everybody gets on the same page.
Yeah, kind of share information and so forth. So I know you said you get together once a month, and really, I guess you also, it's a good education meeting as well to kind of talk about how important it is for people to be locating lines, which is what you all do.
Absolutely. We also have, each month we try to have an educational topic, and we do a safety message before each meeting. And on the educational topics, we try to do like new technology, or we could do a big upcoming project. I know we did a educational topic on Dorothy and Wilmington reconstruction, and went through all that. The GIS technology, the mapping, surveying, all that. I mean, it's really a good opportunity to come and figure out, what's new, what's kind of coming up, and different projects.
Because one of the things that you do is you actually go out and locate lines, right? Utility lines.
Yeah.
For Montgomery County. So, when you're working on something, you might think, oh, it's a quick fix. I want to get something done this afternoon. But really, before you start that project, you really do need to make sure that you know where your utility lines are located.
Absolutely. Yeah. 48 hours before you're going to do the project, you want to call in and have lines located. It's excluding weekends and legal holidays, so take that into account when you're doing it. If you have a holiday on a Monday, if you call in Friday, your clock you're not going to be able to dig until, Wednesday.
But if you're preparing to do a project, you have to go out to, you're going to have to get all the supplies you're going to need. So this is a good time before you go out shopping to make sure you call them. And we're saying to call 811. You can also get online too as well, right?
Yeah, you can do ticket entry online. There's an iDig and an eDig. For homeowners, it's an eDig. And for commercial excavators, it's an iDig. And you can do all the ticket entry remotely online and not have to call.
And so when we're saying to call 811, you're calling the Ohio Utilities Protection Service, or OOPS, to make sure that you are getting in your reservation for them to come out and locate your lines. And we're saying that it's important and it's a big safety issue for obvious reasons, but I'm sure accidents happen all the time when people start to dig without knowing where those lines are located.
Oh, absolutely. There's been many instances of gas services being hit and causing explosions, causing leaks that get into homes that cause explosions. People get hurt, people get killed, unfortunately. And it's always good to have those things located so you know where to be careful.
So it's a very dangerous situation, but it also is a point where it's not just your line. If you hit something, you might put your street out or your neighborhood out of some kind of power cable or something.
Yeah, you don't want to put your street out of cable TV.
No, you really don't. Or lights. That's a big one too. People won't like that. So let's say I've called, I've made my appointment, and somebody's going to come out and mark the lines. Who is it? Somebody for each different utility, or how does that work?
What OOPS will do is they will let each utility know that there's an excavation request in their area. Then it's up to that utility. A lot of utilities use a contract locator, and they'll come out and they'll mark multiple.
Okay. So you might just have
utilities.
one person coming out making different marks.
You could have one person come out. You could have 2, 3, 4 people come out. A good way to look is when you call in, they'll give you a ticket number, and you can actually call back into the Ohio Utilities Protection Service and give them that ticket number, and they will let you know how each utility has responded after the 48 hours is up.
Okay, so then somebody will come out, and will they just walk around your yard, or what type of surveying type of work do they do?
They'll take a look and see what is underground, what's overhead. They'll also be able to look at their prints that's on their computer system, and they'll go through and get in. They may need to get into a utility box that may be on the side of the house. They may need to get to the gas meter, water meter.
So you should be home when this is going on so that they have access to different areas?
It would be ideal. It's not always necessary.
Okay.
But it can be a good idea in case they need to get inside.
But don't let that stop you from calling if you're not going to be home, right?
Oh, absolutely. And they will give you a call if something's not right and they need to do something more.
So then they come out and then they're going to mark the area or mark the line area with a flag of some kind?
They do flag and paint. Each different utility has their own specific color. So that way you're able to identify what it is.
Okay, so then once the area is marked, then you can proceed with your project, right?
Yes.
And so how close should you get to the flag so that you know that you're still within a safe distance?
What they want you to do is the tolerance zone is what they call it, and it's 18 inches away from the mark. You also get the size of the utility if it's noted. So if it's a 6-inch water main,
okay,
you would get 18 inches off of one side of the mark plus another 3, which is half of the diameter. And then in that area, you would want to use a non-destructive type of excavation equipment, like a shovel, a hydrovac, something that's, you don't want to go in and just start
and dig
taking a
carefully,
backhoe.
I
Yes,
guess, yeah.
and dig carefully.
Right, okay. And this again is not just for construction sites, which is probably where a lot of folks see it, but this is definitely for your own yard, for your own property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even landscaping, planting flowers, planting bushes, a lot of your cable TV services, your TV or your phone services are not going to be buried that deep. They could be a matter of inches. They could be right underneath the sod that was laid when the house was built. And then too, even some of the other stuff, the gas lines, the water lines, if the level of the yard has changed since it was installed, it could be very shallow and you could get into it and not even realize you were close to it.
Well, in April is Safe Digging Month. So in honor of that, in commemoration of that, the Montgomery County and the City of Centerville and Miami Valley Utility Safety Council all working together on a project, right?
Yep, April 8th, 10 a.m., Yankee Trace Golf Course. We're having a April Safe Dig Month event, and we're going to have a press conference, and we're going to have Bloodhound Underground come out and do a demonstration of an air vac excavation, where they use air and a vacuum to actually dig a hole in the ground.
Okay, and also, I guess, provide people tips, even though I know especially on this program we say it's common sense, but a lot of times we don't all practice that because maybe we're in a hurry to get a project done, but really we're telling you that we have a whole list of when you should call OOPS, again, which is at 811, but you had mentioned landscaping. Any kind of landscaping, or is there anything in particular that you should be calling?
Really, any kind of groundbreaking. An excavation, when you put a shovel on the ground, you're excavating, even if it's, shallow, or you have to call whether you're using a shovel to go 6 inches deep or using a backhoe to go 6 feet deep.
Okay, and if you're digging holes for fence posts or mailboxes as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Planting trees, I would think someone could probably think they could just go out and plant a tree, but no.
No, and actually a lot of times they'll come out and plant a tree and not think it's a big deal and run a drill down into the ground to plant a tree, and you can get into a gas line very easy that way.
Removing tree roots, which sounds like a big job, but I would guess if you're going to do that, again.
Yep.
Now, if you hire a contractor to come and plant a tree for you or do any of this type of work, would that person be calling OOPS, or is it your responsibility, or I guess something that you need to make sure you work out with your contractor?
What you want is the person that's doing the excavating to be the one that calls in the ticket.
Okay.
In Ohio, you cannot piggyback off of that's what we call it piggybacking. You can't piggyback off of somebody else's dig request. You could have 5 different excavators at one property, and each excavator has to call in their own underground, like their own locate ticket. So as a homeowner, if you hire somebody to come do something at your property, you want the contractor to be the one that calls it in.
Okay, so make sure that you're checking and talking with your contractor on a regular basis before he or she starts the work.
Yeah.
Driving landscape stakes, which you talked about, installing a retaining wall even.
Absolutely. We see those quite a bit.
Okay, so all of those, and I would guess maybe a few more items that you would do, but really anything that you're going to do that's going to change the landscape or look of your yard, that's going to go into the ground, it's worth a call beforehand.
Absolutely. The worst thing that can happen is they come out and you have paint in your yard, and that's about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to know, it's good to be safe, and it's good to know instead of taking a chance.
And even if it hadn't been done before, yeah, you want to make sure you know where those lines are located, because really it's always about safety.
Absolutely.
And if it's 2 days that you have to wait, that's certainly worth the wait, so to make sure that you and your family and your neighbors are all safe. Well, let's go back to this event on April 8th. I know it's the City of Centerville, Montgomery County, your organization. It's going to be a press conference. Who will be there, and what can people expect to see?
We're going to have a press conference. We're going to have myself, Mayor Centerville, the Executive Director of OOPS, and I believe Judy Dodge from the County Commissioner's office is going to come down and speak at this press event. And like I said, we're going to have the demonstration of the air vac. And really, we're just going to talk about the importance of safe digging. And we're going to talk a little bit about that project specifically on Yankee Street, the widening.
Right, and so for people who aren't aware, Yankee Street is going to be widened, and that's
Yes.
going to happen very soon.
Yeah, everything's been, the locates have been being called in. Everything's kind of being planned. Some utilities are being relocated. Poles have been relocated, so it's on the cusp.
Yeah, if you've been up and down Yankee, you've seen a lot of activity happening, and that really is a first sign for people that when they start seeing signs go up or markings that some kind of construction is coming through.
Absolutely. So we're going to have that event. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, I believe, like I said before, and it's just going to, really hit on the importance of safe digging. We have the county commissioners have signed, or I don't believe they've signed it yet, but they're signing a declaration to make April Safe Dig Month. Governor
And
Kasich.
the city as well.
Yeah, the city as well. Governor Kasich has also done the same thing in making April Safe Dig Month in the state of Ohio. And it's just going to be an opportunity to really emphasize that point and emphasize safe digging for our county, Centerville, and the state of Ohio in general.
And you can look on our website for more information about some safe digging tips. But I have a question for you. So when snow's on the ground, obviously this is not a good time to start a project or start digging, but could anybody ever, I'm just wondering if that's ever happened when you've got snow and somebody mistakes maybe the grass for part of the sidewalk and hits some kind of line. I mean, that would just be something that could happen very easily.
Yeah, a lot of times when it's snowing, especially here in Ohio, we get a lot of requests to come back out and relocate things that have been located before, and then you get 6 inches of snow and you can't see them anymore. I know myself and it's in Montgomery County, and I know all the other locators with the other companies try to use flags. That way there's still you're able to see where things are at. Paint tends to get covered up by the snow fairly easily, so we got longer flags and snow events that we can use so you can still find out where your utilities are.
So don't let snow stop you from making sure that you find out where your locations are.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, again, even though Safe Dig Month is April, you need to be digging safely 12 months of the year, right? I mean, I'm sure you see people, this is a good reminder for you, but make sure that you're always calling 811 so that you can let your calling OOPS, which again is for the Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio Utilities Protection Service.
You can also get online, which is oups.org,
Yeah.
right? And that way you can find out more information. You can check out the website. But really, the bottom line is you have to be safe. You have to use precaution before you start digging or start any kind of project, not only at your home, but obviously at construction sites as well.
Absolutely.
We hope to see you all April 8th, right?
Yep, April 8th, 10
at
a.m.
10 o'clock at Yankee Trace. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.